All right, Brent Porcio, topvelocity.net. We're going to cover 4 velocity hacks to help you increase velocity or just optimize your velocity for the game. You're going to put your foot flush to the rubber. You can take your femur and you're going to turn into that rubber, right? Be careful. You don't want to rip your knee open, but turn it into the rubber. You'll feel stability. You can come set, push your hip back, turn torsion in the leg, and feel all that stability like a rod going into the ground. That's going to be your first hack, because when we start moving and we hold that stability, we're going to have all this stability to explode and generate force and rotation and power our delivery. So, all right, for the second hack would be back leg drive. Just know that if you can load as long as you can, ride this hip flexion and torsion as long as you can, you're going to trigger the opening of with your front leg, and you're just going to try to push and accelerate off that rubber at the last minute as much as you can with the back leg. The more force we can get out of that back leg, the more energy going that way, the more power through hip rotation, and if you're separating, more velocity. So that moves us on to the next one, which will be really what it is separation. So it's just basic understanding. If I generate more force that way, I better delay my trunk, because if I allow my trunk to accelerate with it, it's just going to be wasted energy. What you're going to do is, into your leg drive, you're staying separated. I want to get my chin, I don't want anything going early. I want rotation going early, I want forward tilt going early. I want to get my chin behind, or right over my glute, right? Sitting right over my glute at that point, as I'm here. So when I drive, it'll be easier to separate. And what happens is you're going to delay more of the end of the chain. That means more energy is going to come up. Plus, you're giving it more time in rotation and forward tilt with your trunk to put speed on the ball. So contralateral tilt. Remember, last one is our fourth velocity hack is going to be front leg. This is challenging. I'm just going to make it real quick. If you want to get more instruction on it, topvelocity.net/kingofhill. What you're going to do is, let's just work in shoulders open. From here, get as low as you can and get behind that leg, like you just hit front foot. I want you to shift your weight into it, because that's what happens when you land. Shift your weight into it, and when this shifts, all this loads back. Excellent rotation, trunk extension. And then what you're going to do is this is going to trigger everything going forward. Then you're going to extend, pop the plate, and that's going to launch everything forward in sequence. Chest, or hip, chest, arm, okay? So it looks like this. Boom.
Quick tip for you guys on front leg bracing. Understandably so, a lot of guys are working on their front leg bracing. They understand that the front leg needs to be able to stiffen and effectively transfer force up the chain, into the torso, into the arm. The problem is a lot of guys assume that because the front leg stiffens in high level throwers, it's a pushing motion. And so they work on their front leg by pushing back like that. What I want you to do is I want you to get in a stride, get it into your landing position, hips open, shoulders closed. Okay, from here I want you to finish rotating around the front hip and watch what happens to that lead knee. Okay, so you can't effectively finish your hip rotation and not have that lead leg actually straighten in response to that. Okay, so if we're able to land in proper position, if we're able to land in that separated, hips open, shoulders closed position, the only way to go from here is for those hips to finish rotating and that front leg to brace in response to what the hips and the upper half are doing. Okay? If we land closed like this and we're not effectively segmenting, okay, then what happens is this type of motion where you get that low level energy transfer pattern.